Hello, I've set up this tutorial video to help you with the workshop where you can stream video through to your Android app. So in Blackboard there's the link to the tutorial. This is what we'll do. I have prepared one, so we'll run it and see what happens. And if you can just bear with me while the emulator hopefully runs. So it always takes a little while, but it will give you an idea of what you can do. The actual tutorial could take you, if you're quick, just a few minutes, 5 minutes. So here's the video here. It'll brighten up in a tick. There we are. And it should start to play. There you go. So that's streaming at the moment. I'll turn the sound down a little.
How does a mouse click connect to the KSNM website?
Oops, sorry, I'll turn the sound off, but there is sound, and it shows you that you can stream a video quite simply from the internet. There are controls that appear here. They're not that great, but we could work on that some other time, but they do show. So we'll leave that to run and to end, and we'll look at this here. So this is Workshop 8, video and sound. This is the link to the tutorial, and we're just going to follow this tutorial. So I will move this away. I'll start a new project, and as I said, it should take about 5 minutes. Here's the new project. Start. We're going to call this PC Video 2. Leave all the defaults. We could change all this. We keep the Hello World activity, may as well. Go to next, use all the defaults. So it's PC Video 2, which we called it. This is my file path. Yours is going to match your computer, so yours will not say this. And the project SDK, I've got 4.2.2, so you could choose the same one. Make sure you've got it all loaded up. And this, we've got the target device, the emulator. And these are all just defaults. Again, these will be different on yours, the content group, but it will just be how you set your development environment up. So OK that, and then here we have PC Video 2. We'll open up the files. There's the file. So let's look at what we're going to do. So we are going to create a new app, which we've done, and there we are. So we're on step 2 already. So we need to go to the manifest file and copy this code in. Now you might wonder, here they tell you to copy it in, so you can copy that, come over to the manifest file. For someone who doesn't know XML, you go, oh my goodness, where am I going to paste this? Well, you paste it here. It would work in some other places, but it's got its own open and close tag, so it needs to not be in any other tags. So not here, because this is this one, application, and there's the close application, there's activity, and there's the close tag for activity, and there's intent. So that is all one block. This is a separate item, uses SDK. Okay, so I've put it there. It's because it's got to access the internet. I've put it near the top. Sometimes code is read line by line, depends on the program. So as it needs to access the internet, I put it there. I could have put it down here. It probably would work, but it might not. So that's the manifest. So that's answered that one. So now this is the they call it the main layout file. Well, they don't give you a file name, but this is layout, and this is, by coincidence, it's called main. But it could be called anything, but whatever it's called, if you look in the Java file, this word main, that actually means a file in layout. There's layout called main, and it's .xml, but it doesn't say .xml because the program knows it's an XML file. So if you called this main2 with a 2 there, that would say main2. So they just match. So anyhow, we'll look at this. So we're going to put this, so go back to layout, go back to main. Now their code looks different here. But if you notice, we're going to do it line by line, but it'll be pretty quick. First of all, this they don't show in their code, and this is important because without this code, the program, as far as I know, won't run. XML is very odd in that although you can have white space, if you put white space just here, it might not run. So make sure that that is correct and as is. Then here they've got it as a relative layout. You can see the open and close tags here. So we're going to change this to relative, and you can see we would have got an error. It is actually a little underline error, relative. So we've got that. Make sure your typing's correct. And then this is the same as ours. Orientation vertical, we can leave it as is. They've got a different width and height, so we'll put in what they've got here. But we won't copy the close tag over because we've already got that, and that's what you have to be careful about. So there's the close tag, so we'll put a little bit of space and we'll just put it there, and you can see we've got a couple of problems. One is the tools context main activity, we haven't got that. Well, that is this here. This is just the simplest way of describing it is it's a file that this program needs to access in order to run properly. So that's gone now. We just move that over a bit, I think. We have the tools context here. We leave this the same, this as default, dot main activity. Don't change this. Don't think that because your like my activity Java that is named as such, you would have to change this to my activity to match that. You don't. You just leave this exactly as it is. Now, the reason that these are red is because the person that wrote this tutorial did some, I suppose you would call them variables. This dimen is a variable, and that is its name. There's a dimen variable and a name. You can see there's two names the same here and here. So they're saying Android padding bottom, use this variable. So that would confuse a beginner. What you unfortunately need to do, and it is very quick, is create a new values resource file. We call it dimensions. Okay, and then in that file, between the open and the closing tag, you would put this code in. Let me just copy it over. Copy it and paste. Okay, what that is, that's given the name Dimen. So you've created a name Dimen. So it could be, you know, like my name, Jane name, or you could call it padding, or it's best to call it something that you know what it is, so that it makes common sense. And then, so if we look at that, that is the Dimen. You can see they've all gone. The red has gone now. And this activity vertical margin, if you look at dimensions, so it's Dimen, the name is activity vertical margin. I've put it in that's 25 dp. You can put it in whatever you think you need. And so the vertical and the horizontal margin, so one's 25, one's 30. And if you go back to main, you've got the bottom and the top both have the same measurement because they've both got the same name for their variable. And it's an easy way that you can change it here, and it will change throughout your site. If for everything that you've called Dimen activity vertical margin, if you changed it to 100, everything with that name would change. It's a quick way of having one file that will change your site-wide, because when you have a really large site, you don't want to go to each activity and change every XML file for that activity. So this is the quick way of doing it, but they didn't show you that in the tutorial. So, okay, we'll go back to the main XML and look through. So we've got the tools context. I won't explain it all to you, but we've copied their stuff over, their layout stuff. Here we've got text view. This is the view that, you know, the hello world. If you have hello world, this is what you get. And so here we're going to make some space, and then we're going to copy over the video view here as a block. So again, you need to know where the opening and closing tags are, so paste that. So we've got that, and then the relative layout. So there we are. So we've done that now. So then in the next step, we're going to deal with the Java file. So go to Java. We've got these imports already, and it's asking us to import 3 more. So we copy that over, copy and paste. There we are. They've gone grey because they're not being used at the moment, but when we put all the code in, as we put the code in, they'll go black. Okay, this is all the default code and we leave it as it is, but we're going to put our new code just underneath here. So make sure you have the brackets where in the correct place. So it's nice to have a nice clear block. So first of all, they say after set content view, which is here, let's get a reference to the video view instance. So let's copy that and paste it. And here you can see that's the ID. My video is actually in here somewhere, I think. No, it must. Oh, it's in the manifest. That's weird. I'll have to check where I've put that, but it's. Oh, how very odd. Okay, so the ID for the video. Oh, there it is, of course. Yeah, sorry, my apologies. ID for the video is here. So in the video view, which is here on this right hand side here, that's the ID for the video. So when this is how it refers to that, a bit like main refers to that file there. My video refers to this ID here. So it's telling it to put that video in this space. So back we go. Apologies about that. And then this is the video address online. So we just copy it. I hope that's picked it all up. So we'll copy that, Control and V. There we are. It all looks fine. So the video is sitting on a secure site where we can download it, and it's put in the video address, if you like, into here, but that's saying it's not being used at the moment, but it will be in a minute. Okay, so now we're going to set the video here, and now that's no longer grey. So basically that now has been put into here with variables. They just bounce around. If you're not a programmer, try not to worry. Just trust it. It's basically the video view. We're going to set the video, the URI or the URL, whichever way you prefer to call it, URI identifier, I think it is vid URI, which is here, and this here is a string which holds all this, was popped in here, so that's been passed over literally to here, and then it's been passed from here, and it's used here. So they just bounce around, so try not to worry too much. Now Control and C, the video view. Now we've got the URL, we can have a start, but we want to put a few controls on there, which is the last part. So if we go down to adding playback controls, we'll just copy that, paste it in, paste that, and then we'll anchor it there, and then we'll set the player controls here, so like that. So we've copied all that over. Okay, so we need the emulator, which hopefully is this one now, because this is a new file. I just want to check that I've got it set up correctly. So just tidy it. It all looks fine. So I just want to check the run, edit configurations. Let's have a look. Emulator, preferred virtual device. This is the one that works with this. Now, just so that you're aware, if you choose something else, you might see it's incompatible with your project. This one comes up fine. This one's got an error. So it needs to be compatible with your project. I will run through at the end for anyone who has a problem with that. So, okay that. So we've put that emulator in. So now let's go to Tools, look at the AVD Manager, and let's start it. Okay, we want to wipe the user data and launch it and start it. Now, I was running one earlier with the one I did before, the one I made earlier, so to speak. So this might mess up a little bit. We might have a little bit of a wait, I'm not sure. And we'll see what happens. I'll minimize that. So really all we're waiting for now, this is PC Video, so this is the one I did before. Our one is called PC Video 2. So hopefully this will disappear and be replaced by the new video. But this is identical anyhow to PC Video. You've seen it working. While we're waiting for it to come up, we will look at the emulator, and I'll go through all the settings so that you can copy them, because it is quite tricky to set them. So here we are. Let's have a look at these settings one by one. I don't know if I can make this any bigger for you. So I've called it my AVD 14. I'm going to close that down actually. The target, Google APIs, Google Inc. API level 19. The CPU is ARM EABI v7a. So you have the choice of these, but I chose that one, and then that, and then SD card, I've left that. Snapshot is enabled. That does speed it up, but if you've got another emulator with Snapshot enabled, sometimes they conflict and it won't it won't work. And then I had the hardware. You don't necessarily need this, but I was working on something else, so I had the accelerometer, LCD density, max VM application, heap, that probably says heap size, device RAM size 512, GPU emulation. I changed that to no because you can't use emulation with Snapshot, GPU emulation with Snapshot. So those are all my settings. So if you had all those same settings, that should work. So okay, so again we're just waiting, and now I've had to wait about 5 minutes for this emulator to work, and you can see that here's the video. I'll try and turn the sound down a little, but you can see that it's working. And if you hover over, at some stage the controls will appear. There are more ways of setting the controls, but they should appear somewhere around here. They're not at the moment, so that's something that needs sorting out. It did work on my other one. I may have copied the code over slightly incorrectly so as not to get the controls, or they may only view at the end. But it's working. There they are. There's the controls. So they've taken a little while to appear. I think the emulator's a bit slow. But this gives you an idea of how you can actually put a video, stream a video from the internet onto your app.